Ha, caught you. Ha, ha, ha. I win. I was the first one in, and you were looking at your phone, retweeting the phone with the show, not paying attention. But first, heads or tails, Cal?
Okay, I tweeted this last night when our girlfriend Ariel tweeted this. Who the fuck takes tails? I don't get it. I don't understand it. It makes no sense. It's heads or pass, always. Come on, Josh Allen. You got to be better.
I am a heads girl too. Please don't take that the wrong way. Hopefully, we have
Too late. They already did. I can't wait to see the comments. Megan's a heads girl.
Well, I am. I am what I am. But so Cal, I would say let's start with the game last night. But I don't, don't want to get hurt too bad or hurt your feelings too bad because I know that one was a fucking unbearable game for you. But let's start off with Marquette for both of us. That was a humongous money shot overlap, big win, outright win for Marquette. That's a win. We got to start there. Let's start positive. And we can move on then to football. But besides that, how was your weekend, Kel?
I had a great weekend. Overall, had some friends in town. Really got to enjoy these games. I mean, the NFL sometimes really disappoints, and this weekend was not one of them. I mean, last 3 games went to last-minute field goals. Pretty incredible stuff, and I think that's just something you got to really appreciate when we start to get a really great product on the field. It's exciting. Unfortunately, like you mentioned, not the results I wanted in the Bills game, and we can get into that here in a minute. But overall, what a fun weekend. Dogs were barking like crazy. Thank you, Roa. Sorry, I hope I didn't butcher your name. But yes, the Rams-Bills teaser was pretty big for me, and it kind of helped me save some face with that Bills loss. At least the good news about overtime is they couldn't lose the teaser.
Let's start out with I cannot believe Joey B will be headed towards, big game. Like, I mean, like the thought of the Super Bowl potentially being Joey B has blown my mind. I'm just so excited. Louisiana's excited. Hopefully, some big news coming out of Louisiana soon. We keep on edge for that. But yeah, outright winners over the Titans started there. But we kind of talked about that game. Let's talk about Niners Packers. Obviously, I didn't know what to take. I leaned Packers hard, and I said I needed to depussify myself. And here comes Jersey Jerry, just when I didn't need him most, right?
Fair enough. You definitely didn't need his help. He's been kind of ice cold lately. So,
but Kelly, I'm sorry. I know that you don't believe in coincidences. So how do we explain the 12 letters in the name, and then the 12 letters in Aaron Rodgers' name, and then the 6, and then how do we explain that without there being coincidences? I was so sold, Kelly. Like, it was ridiculous how much I'm like, oh, duh, man, this is the easiest bet I've ever made. What a handicap. And it looked good there for a minute. Looked good there for our, that was such a boring game though, man. So boring. But then what happens? Aaron Rodgers fucking can't pull it out, and Jersey Jerry cost us probably $80 in a light. Maybe not. I don't know how much lighting costs, so it could be more than that. What did you think about that game?
So real quick, I wanted to address the Bengals game because Ryan Tannehill deserves a lot of blame for those 3 interceptions. And whether people are not want to argue with me in the comments, please go for it. Tell me I'm fucking stupid. Yes, some were on his receiver, but oh my word, was that the Ryan Tannehill we used to see in Miami or what? And that's why that was crazy. But congratulations to the Bengals. On the flip side, I think Aaron Rodgers is getting a lot more flack when, yes, I know we need Aaron Rodgers to do Aaron Rodgers-esque things that we saw from Josh Allen and Mahomes both last night.
You can't do it every game.
But I'm sorry. They went right down the field, marched right down the field, and scored a touchdown on the opening drive. And that was basically all she wrote. I understand that. Kevin King, as I've just trashed him for years, especially in the playoffs, can't guard anyone. He plays 5 or 10 yards off of his man, and he's so lucky that George Kittle, Deebo Samuel, and others dropped so many balls. Because if you look at that game, it could have been a lot more lopsided. But the ultimate loser in that game was the special teams. I just couldn't believe it. A blocked punt in the NFL, that happens so rarely.
I wonder what the odds would have been for that blocked punt in that game for at Barstool Sportsbook. I mean,
Plus
what would you?
5,000,
Something insane.
the odds would have been less for overtime. I mean, look, it was just one of those really crazy games. I did a show with a couple of buddies of mine, Adam, on Saturday morning. And I said, I would love to say that you could do I gave out a UFC play. And by the way, still great information. Nagano did have a torn MCL. So I wasn't wrong there. Unfortunately, got the wrong result. But I did say, yeah, I could see if you wanted to lay Packers money line with gain in that one, because I just didn't see the Packers losing at home. I said it was too many points. I stand by that, but I cannot believe how just ugly that team played. It was just so weird. Yeah, I don't know. I think that there becomes a point in time where Aaron Rodgers is going to have to move on from the Packers, and I think he's going to be a Denver Bronco next year. And I know everybody thinks that I'm being biased when I say that, but I also called Peyton to the Broncos. I think it'd be a really interesting fit for the Denver Broncos to get a veteran quarterback. They can also afford to pay him for a couple of years, because the Packers, they've got to redo Devontae Adams' contract. They're already way over their cap space. I just don't see it happening. I don't think he's going to be a Packer next year unless they make some big-time money moves. And unfortunately, I think they're going to have to just bulldoze the whole thing. I mean, you've got 2 Super Bowl rings, and you've had MVP caliber quarterbacks for basically my whole life. And you only have 2 Super Bowls to say for it?
It seems like he doesn't really want to be in Green Bay anymore. Also, funny, whenever it was looking good for Green Bay and the Niners just weren't able to keep their hands on the ball, I will say I was drinking. So I had a tweet in my draft that I'm so happy I didn't send out, but it said George Kittle, more like can't catch shittle. And I'm really happy that I didn't put that one out, because
you got old takes exposed to death.
Embarrassing, and I'm like getting red thinking about even putting it out. But yeah, that one was rough. Me and Jerry took hard L's there. But yeah, 13-10. What a great, awesome game.
Well, the 2 games on Saturday were such snooze fests, right? It was just wild how boring they were, if you will, as far as like scoring goes. And then we just got the opposite on Sunday.
Speaking of crazy, I went 500 this weekend. Like, I put out all of these bets, and I put in basketball. I ended up throughout the weekend going 500. Don't know how. Free weekend at the casino, even the juice, free weekend at the casino. I was like, how does this even happen? Usually I'm a big fat loser on Monday, but not today, not this Monday. All right, on to a game that was a little bit more interessante. Rams Bucks. And I looked at my husband and I made a little chuckle, and I was like, like everybody else on Twitter, I was like, I'd feel a lot more comfortable if Tom Brady was down 28-3. And like, he came roaring back, 27-30 final result. But it wasn't in the cards for Tom Brady this year. It was never Tom Brady this year. I did have him -2, so that one was it's fine, but these are one of those games where don't come all the way back just to tease me. Don't you do that to me. Like, I would rather just stop. And once he started bleeding, I was like, okay, like,
the bleeding was fun. I kind of enjoyed that. Like, that meme, like, don't make me bleed my own blood kind of thing. Like, I really felt that for Tom. And it was pretty funny.
It was, I'm not going to lie. I was like, this game's done. This is trash. Turn it off. I'm done. Like, I don't even want to. This is me last year whenever I took the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. This is exactly the same way this game's going to go. I was fucking turn it off. I'm done. Like, I was Patty. So pouty. And my poor husband had to deal with me and my kids. And then Tom Brady, of course, makes it close, gives me that much hope, probably the size of his little wiener, and loses, doesn't cover for me. So that's what I think of that game.
I cannot with you. Here we are. Oh my God. Anyway, I'd like to give a shout out. We finally got merch. Money shots,
let's go.
Reverse jinx. And that's exactly what I did on that game. I tweeted about Tom Brady having a horseshoe up his ass, because my God, did he get lucky on a couple of those late plays. It was really fun to watch. I was watching with some Bucks fans. I had the Rams in a teaser, so like I said, it didn't really matter.
You were supposed to be able to split that game. I'm pissed.
We were supposed to be able to split that game. I'm sorry. But either way, it was really interesting to watch because it's almost as if Bucks fans and I know some Patriots fans as well, it's like they don't even start to get nervous until like the start of the fourth quarter. And I'm like, it's fine. We have Tom Brady. I went to the Bucks Saints game and they were down 9 and there was like a minute 51 left. And the girl behind me is just chirping about, well, we have Tom Brady. I go, you're down 2 scores. If Tom Brady can score 10 points, so you guys have to also get the onside kick. And oh, by the way, run it less than two-minute drill. Like, yeah, you're out of your fucking mind. But it is crazy how confident they are in their quarterback. Yes, and I'm not saying that he hasn't done some crazy shit over the years, but I was like, nah, this is pretty much over. And that was like my little reverse jinx. That's what's on the back of this Money Shot shirt. I didn't have a ton of those this weekend. I tried really hard, but what can you do?
Someone said Tampa Bay came back though, or Tom Brady, TB. I don't know which one you're talking about. Yeah, they did come back, but they didn't cover. So what the fuck was the point? You know, if you're a gambler, a comeback is nothing if you're not going to cover. You go ahead and just give me the L by a mile if you're not going to cover my spread. On to the last game, which I must have had a horseshoe up my ass, or Mahomes, or maybe they, as I said, put Jackson in a box somewhere. I don't know. But Patrick Mahomes, 13 seconds left, all the way down to win it. I know, I'm sorry, I'm boasting a little bit, but you've had a great college football season. You've still had a good NFL season. I'm so happy that I ended up on the right side of this fucking game, and I'm sorry that your best bet had to die in order for it to happen. But man, what a game! You even as a football fan, you got to say what a game.
Well, yeah, I mean, we were just talking about Tom Brady with 2 minutes left. There was like 2.5 minutes left, and we saw just an influx of score, which is good because Big Cat got to catch his game of the year with his over, so I was happy for him there.
This is third game of the year. Congrats, Big Cat. Shout out, bro.
And he said he's going to have another one for you guys, so maybe he can go 4-0. That being said, it was just absolutely crazy. I mean, I was at this bar that I watched at the last time these two played, and that was a different result. The last time the Bills just absolutely throttled the Chiefs.
Did you go back to that bar in hopes that it was the same result? I don't know how superstitious you are.
Yeah, I mean, look, it was funny because my girlfriend Erin was in town for that game. She's now back in town for this game. And I go, we should go to the same result. And it was crappy weather and I was cold. And I was like, do I really want to go down there? And then the Chiefs scored right after the Bills scored, like super fast. I was like, nope, wrong bar. Let's go across the street. And then, it's just one of those like drunken messes. I was not on my best behavior. After that one, I was pretty fired up and not very happy with a lot of things. Went round and round on Twitter. So look, I'm going to say this, and I said this in 2019 because I pulled the old tweets up when I was arguing with people then because I had the Chiefs who lost to the Pats in overtime who didn't get to possess the ball. Look, you got to give both teams a chance to possess the ball. And everybody wants to talk about this Bills defense. I never once said the Bills had the best defense in the league. I think people need to look at this when they handicap games. Yes, the Bills have the number one defense in the league based on their stat line, but then you've got to look at their strength of schedule. They haven't really played that difficult of a schedule, just pretty middle of the road, closer towards the easier side. So I wouldn't even say they have the best defense in the league. Yes, they should not have played prevent defense against Patrick Mahomes. We could argue that there should have been a squib kick. We can argue all these things that the game should have never went to overtime. But something that we should be able to agree on is that the overtime rules fucking suck regardless. Both teams should be able to possess the ball. I think the Barstool Sportsbook or one of our accounts tweeted earlier that 10 of the last 11, and yes, that's a small sample size, of teams that won the coin flip also won in overtime without the other team getting to possess the ball. That fucking sucks. It's actually closer to like 65% of who wins a coin flip actually wins the game. But yes, would you have needed to not allow Tyreek Hill to have a monster bomb? Would you have not needed Travis Kelce to be wide open in the freaking end zone? Yeah, there's a lot of things we could go over and we could beat a dead horse. But bottom line, the game should never be decided by a coin flip. If not, just flip the fucking coin and say that's who wins. Why even play? Why risk anybody getting hurt in overtime?
That's actually a really great idea. Just whoever wins, call heads or tails, either that or best 2 out of 3 with a rock, paper, scissors. You send out
rock, paper, scissors. Let's go.
Or the coaches. If we're gonna involve some IQ, maybe get Andy Reid out there to rock, paper, scissors shoot real quick, and then they solve it. Best 2 out of 3 coaches.
There you go.
I just solved. Should I run for president? I just solved that issue. I feel like I could solve any issue at that.
Listen, I think it makes a lot of sense, Megan. I don't think you're wrong. But I will say this: the best comment of all was the guy telling me that the reason why you take tails is because the coin is heavier on one side. I'm like, somebody got to it before I saw it. And he goes, bro, they're not out there flipping quarters. I almost died. Like, if you actually think that the NFL coin is weighted towards one side, I need you to seek professional help, because obviously that would be a little bit of a scandal, if you will. If that
just somehow... a little bit. Just they even fucking tell them this is the logo for the Kansas City Chiefs on this side. This is the logo for the other. And it's what? This is not a fucking quarter.
I couldn't believe when like I said, somebody beat me to the comment, but I was like, oh my God, you really
we're
think
blonde and we're women, and people who like to argue with us, but yet they'll have the audacity to go and type something like that out on social media.
It does make me laugh. Jake enjoyed me and Chris arguing. Listen, I may or may not have had a side bet with Chris in addition to the bets that I already had. He was talking a lot of shit in the group chat. Yeah, that was not good. But I mean, that's fine. He wants to do his hula dance. He wants to look like a fucking idiot. He's one of my best friends. I guess I got to let him do it. But that doesn't mean I'm going to let him get away with it, right? I'm going to call you out on your bullshit. So congratulations to him. Congratulations to Megan. Super happy. Now I got to go get a second job.
You seem very super happy for me. and who did you bet against?
CT Bets. You know him. He's friends with Adam.
That's what I thought. I saw someone say C Bets. I was like, I don't know who that is. I don't know who CT Bets is, though. Someone said the coin was deflated. That's silly. I like that.
Exactly. See?
Okay. Well, that is a little NFL recap from the weekend. Now we can move on to some college basketball. I know we don't always get into college basketball on Monday, but we are trending towards the end of NFL football. It's just one of those things. We got to start transitioning into more sports. So first off, Kelly, I know you had your eye. I don't know if you were for sure playing it or not. But on that Florida Ole Miss game, you have Ole Miss catching 4 at home now at the Barstool Sportsbook. What are your thoughts on this game, Kel?
Yeah, there's a couple of games we're going to go over today, Megan. I'm going to tweet out what I'm actually on because I wanted to look at a couple more things before tip. You were not on the show, even though we're talking about starting to do a Saturday show, but exactly what Jake was talking about, CT Bets, Adam and I, our good friend Drew, we do a Saturday morning college basketball show. Chris gives out the Gophers. I agree with him. Game's about to tip 3 guys out with COVID, within an hour before tip. And I am furious. I had already tweeted out that I was on Minnesota -2. Got lucky. Minnesota still won the game without 3 of their best players. Shout out to a couple of guys really stepping up in their absence. But, oh, my God.
This was against Rutgers, huh?
This was against Rutgers. So my point is this. A, I want people to watch our show. And B, I'm sick of that happening before tip, right? I need to get all of the information that I can. I need to know starting lineups. I want to know injury reports, things like that. I don't mind if I have all the information and I make a bet and the line moves because of something else. But I need to know I have all the information. The fact that the professional teams have to put all that information out and the college teams don't has been kind of infuriating to me. So when I say this, that actually just means I'm going to wait closer to tip, which is not great for that CLV trophy, but it's better for my mental well-being because I'm sick of these cancellations. I'm sick of these last minute things, these late COVID tests, whatever it is. So that being said, I am waiting to give these out. I will tweet out the ones I'm going to be on. I want to back Florida here so bad. I really do. But I've seen this Florida team, and I've seen them way too many times. In theory, they should have a great defense. In theory, they're absolutely atrocious from the three-point line. This team sucks so bad from three-point land that I cannot stand it. Sure, they can defend the 3 ball, but they cannot hit a 3-point bucket. It's what feels like to save their lives. This looks like one of those dead under type games. I do lean Ole Miss here. Now, Ole Miss has dropped 4 straight. I understand this is not a sexy Ole Miss team by any means, but this is a play against Florida. They've got Tennessee on deck. This is a game that I think they don't probably care that much about. 4 seems like kind of one of those interesting lines, right? 4.5 even. I'm wondering if we might see a 5 at the Barstool Sportsbook before this one tips. I think the whole world's going to want to take the Gators here. This is a Gators team, and as I had mentioned to you, I feel like I've been watching SEC basketball more than anything this year, just by coincidence. And so this is an Ole Miss team. I'm going to take the points here. Most likely, as I mentioned, I will tweet it out if I end up getting on it. But as a play against Florida, I think this is one of those look-ahead spots. Nobody cares about a 9-9 Ole Miss team, right? Not when you got Tennessee on deck, and this is a chance for Florida to maybe make some ground on their season because they have dropped a couple of games that were just inexcusable.
I would agree with that. I don't want to touch that game. SEC basketball has been very hit or miss. I've just been enjoying kind of watching it. Taking my Tigers when I feel like it is appropriate. Thank God I stayed away last game. So, I try to pick my spots with them, but as I said, it's a lot of betting with my heart when it comes to LSU. On to a team that has no connection to me, but I did take them, and that is UNCW or UNC Wilmington. I want to make sure I said that correctly because it gets jumbled up in the mouth. And they're at Northeastern. Look, the home team, Northeastern, is now laying 2.5. They have dropped 8 games straight. Meanwhile, UNCW has won 4-0 against the spread in their last 4 road games and are 6-0 ATS their last 6 following an against the spread win. Now, I'm not necessarily like a trends girl, but those seem like some pretty great trends to me. Not to mention they have back-to-back wins over 2 of the top conference players in Townsend and JMU. This line makes no sense to me. I have a parlay out today, which is making money Mondays, or something along those. It's catchy. It's got M's. It's UNC Wilmington money line. It is Eastern Washington money line and Murray State at 10.5. We moved the stool so they don't have to cover the full 17.5. And obviously, I'll tell you all about why I added the other 2 to that parlay once we get to those. So yes, I will be on UNCW tonight. Plus the 3 also on the money line for the parlay. Kel, I know you have your notes up, so you could probably chat with me.
I'm looking at it right here, Megan, and I am very perplexed by this line. It feels like a trap game from hell. Now, yes. UNC Wilmington, by all means, yeah, they've been on a little bit of a tear, if you will. But God, they're just bad. This is just a bad defensive team all the way around. Also, not a great offensive team. This is a really slow tempo team. Northeastern, not much better. I think this looks like a slow, boring game. It's going to be like 61.
Well, it's going to suck.
60 or something atrocious. Like, just take a nap and just check the score later because that's how boring this game looks like it's going to be. And I don't understand their scheduling spot. They have to play each other back to back. Is that what they're doing?
I guess. I didn't even look to see
because they play Monday. They're going to be staying in Boston. They play again Thursday. So I think that's just a really interesting scheduling spot there. UNC Wilmington, the fact that they're a 2.5-point underdog just seems
weird.
It just seems very off-putting. And to me, it screams trap game. But no, why would I want to take Northeastern, who's dropped 8 straight?
That's what I kept saying to myself. I said, think long, think wrong. So no, this seems right. I'm going for it. This is my numbers, what I like to look at. All backs it. So if I get trapped, if I'm that little mouse underneath it, so be it. At least my hand will be on a little cheese, maybe. I don't know. Up next, since we're going UNC Wilmington, let's just head on over to UNC. So you have the Hokies at UNC tonight. I know that you mentioned earlier to me personally that you might be on Virginia Tech tonight, but I will go ahead and let the world know, which I've already done, which I don't know. I hate that I tweet them out before the show because then, people don't watch the show, but people watch the show for your picks, not mine. So I just need to keep that in mind. But UNC is at home after back-to-back losses. Kind of the same reason why I took Baylor the other day. I didn't think Baylor was dropping a third one straight, especially at home. UNC is the more talented team. They're the bigger team. Not to mention they're 4-0 against their spread in their last 4 home games. Meanwhile, you have a lowly Hokies team that is 4-1 ATS their last 5 road games. And 1-5 their last 6 games total against the spread. So this one's a little trappy too, possibly, but I'm taking UNC. I believe I got them at 5, maybe. I believe I saw that number jump around this morning.
Yeah, it's 4.5 right now at the Barstool Sportsbook, Megan, and I like that little bit of reverse line movement because that tells me that
5.
all signs are pointing towards the Hokies here. This is a really solid Hokies team, even though they're just 10-8 on the year. Top 50 defense, top 50 offense. The difference is here, and this is going to be the two polarizing between the game, is if Virginia Tech's defense can slow down the Tar Heels. If they can, I think they can win this game outright. My problem with North Carolina, though, betting against North Carolina is the exact opposite, especially at home. They run and they run fast. I do have some concerns about them getting hot from three-point land, but the good news is the Hokies are one of the best teams defending against the three ball. I think this is going to be a really good, really close game. So I'm going to take the better defense plus the points here.
I knew you were going to say it. I said it in my head. I said she's about to say it. I wish I could have live bet that just then. I knew it. Go ahead.
You know, it's like I'm a sucker for it, right? And I do think this is kind of one of those interesting games. I think the line should be 1.5. So the fact that it's 4.5 tells me that there's some value there.
This morning at like 6 a.m. it was 5.5.
And that's kind of like I said, that reverse line movement tells me. So for those that are just now watching that don't know what reverse line movement is, basically all the tickets are on one side, yet the line keeps dropping. It's like, come on, guys, come back North Carolina, come on. And that kind of gives me that little bit of a nudge and that go ahead to bet the Hokies. So I will most likely be on the Hokies pending anything catastrophic in the next 4 hours.
Pending anything catastrophic.
Megan, I swear to you, like Saturday, I went off. I was so pissed about that goal. Like that kind of shit makes college basketball almost like I don't even want to bet it until March. Like I honestly, the SEC is doing a great job. Overall, the Big 12 is doing a good job. But the Pac-12, just a dumpster fire with some of this shit right now. Look at Stanford canceling game, like rescheduling all this stuff. Some of these smaller conferences, the Big 10, even like, come on, guys, get your shit together. If you're going to do college basketball, do it right. Because let's be honest, over half the people watching your games probably are watching because they have some action on it. Otherwise, why else would I watch Minnesota versus Rutgers? I love college basketball. There are plenty of other games I would much rather watch.
Well, I watch it because because I support TJ, and that's why I was watching.
That being said, like we've kind of got this whole thing figured out. Let's stop testing kids an hour before the fucking game. Like, let's just use some common sense here.
No, thank you. No common sense in sports, please. Just sports. Up next, another one that I added to my parlay. I also took them against the spread, and the spread is that one. It's a big one. I took Murray State minus the 17.5 at home against Tennessee Tech. Yeah, I saw your eyes light up. That's a big fucking number, and I'm nervous about it, but Murray State's been a wagon. I mean, they're 7th in the nation in points per game. They're 16th in the nation in shooting percentage. They are killing it from the three. Only thing that they can't do, which worries me, especially with a spread like this, they're not great at shooting free throws. And this is the time, this is when Megan has her freakouts. Whenever I'm on the floor, on my knees, with my hands like freaking out on my head, being like, all you got to do is fucking put it in. Just put it in. And they can't do it. And I have a feeling, and that's why the kind people at the Barstool Sportsbook moved it from 17 to 10.5. I think Murray State rolls, right? But I'm very worried about the 17.5 and laying it. I'm doing it anyway. But again, 4-1 ATS in their last 5. They've been laying big numbers. I don't think they covered their last game. So this is kind of a bounce back, if you will, since they had just been crushing people by like 28 points. I'm worried. I am, but I'm still rolling with Murray State. What do you think, Kel?
So, Megan, that is exactly one of the things that I like to look at with some of these other schools, right? I literally called it the other day when I was on Alabama. I said, I already know how this game's going to end. Alabama can't hit their fucking free throws. What am I doing laying points with this team? And sure enough, that's exactly what happened. And those are the type of things you want to look for in college basketball. And those are the type of sites that I like to look at and be able to break it down. You nailed it. Murray State has been terrible from the free throw line. I honestly would be terrified to lay that many points with them here because of that. By all means, Tennessee Tech is a really bad team. Like, not a great team. They're 5-12 on the season. They just got one win over SIU Edwardsville, and they absolutely rolled them. So maybe this team's got a little bit of confidence, a little bit of something to play off of here, but they have a bottom 300 offense, all bottom 250 defense. I don't think they're going to have an answer for Murray State as far as tempo goes. Murray State should be able to run up and down the court against this team.
Do you trust the 10.5 though?
The 10.5, I'm sure you should be fine. They should win this game by 20, but I do think it will come down to late fouls, free throws, and let's hope those guys are on the money tonight for you and your 17.
17, yeah. They definitely need that 17.5 would be very, very nice. Tennessee Tech, just don't show up. All right, Kel, I need your help here because this is your area of expertise, if you will. I want to know what side you're on in this Texas Tech-Kansas game. Feed it to me, Kel.
So this is a crazy game, right? Tech's 15-4. They just beat KU. If you remember a couple of weeks ago, they were 7-point underdogs. And you got to go, wait a minute. Now they're 7-point underdogs tonight. We're getting some incredible line value here in Allen Fieldhouse. Now, if you remember, I was talking about K-State. I didn't end up giving it out. I told my buddies, I said, look, we kind of missed the boat here. It went from 6 to 4.5. K-State absolutely should have won that game. What a meltdown. I felt so bad for Nigel because he played his ass off and had such a great game, and he just couldn't get the support from his teammates enough to keep their foot on the gas to beat KU in Manhattan. I do think this is an interesting spot, though, for the Jayhawks because they have a solid offense. We know that they can up-tempo this Texas Tech team who does exact opposite of them, right? They have a good defense and really keeps opposing offenses at bay. When I first saw this line, I thought, holy shit, the whole world is going to bet Texas Tech. And why wouldn't they? After what just happened a few short weeks ago in Lubbock. But again, incredible line value. This line should be 10 based on what we just saw. Yes, Tech off that K-State loss. Then they got a couple nice bounce backs. But I think KU has their number tonight. I think the Jayhawks win this one by 9 or 10. I think you got to lay it or don't play it here. This looks like a trap game from hell.
Lay it or don't play it with the Jayhawks, says the Kansas girl, woman, lady. What would you rather? Kansas bitch.
I don't know. Just don't call me ma'am. Somebody called me ma'am the other day, and I was like, Jesus Christ, am I old enough for a ma'am? But I did get carded last night at the bar. That actually did happen to me. I want everybody to know that. I was super happy about that one. And then somebody chimed in. They card everybody. I was like, no, they don't. I'm sitting right here, and nobody else has gotten carded.
No, they don't. You're not here, you asshole.
Yeah. So there.
Real quick, the last leg of my parlay. No one cares about this game. I don't really care about this game except that I wanted to hit for me and the parlay and the great people that are taking the parlay. Eastern Washington at Idaho State. Just need Eastern Washington to win, but I'm also laying the 5 with them. This is numbers play. I have never fucking watched Eastern Washington or Idaho State.
Yeah, I'm going, where did you even find these teams from the Big Sky?
Yeah, I say, I don't give a fuck about the Big Sky. Like, literally not. But this is just numbers play. You have Eastern Washington, who is 13-6 ATS in their last 19, and Idaho State, who is a lowly 3-14 in their last 17 games. I literally wrote, I honestly couldn't give a shit about the Big Sky. That's in my notes. So that means that
Pocatello, Idaho, beautiful place. Let me tell you, I drove through there one time. This is going to be ugly, Megan. This is going to be a really ugly game. By the way, you said that they have 3 wins. No, they have 1 win over another Division I school. Their first 2 wins came against teams I've never even heard of. Bethesda? Who the fuck is that? I can't even click it. I can't even click it. That's who they are. And then their very first win over Eastern Oregon, who I believe is an FCS school. So you do kind of have to wonder what's going on here in Pocatello. Eastern Washington, not great defensively. That concerns me here when you're asking a team to cover a larger number for you.
Wait, Eastern Washington, real quick, 6-1 ATS the last 7 road games. So there's a little, there's a little snippet to back what I'm saying.
You're hilarious. I don't know
This
why
guy
you're
goes,
betting teams from the
the
Big
Big Sky
Sky.
is a badass conference. Plus, I played in the Big Sky, so now I don't give a fuck.
I mean, my dad lived in
about
Montana for a long
fraud.
time. I've definitely followed the Big Sky, but this is just not a.
Well, congratulations, Mike. I'm glad that you played in the Big Sky and that
Hey,
that you don't give a fuck about me. So we're on the same
I
page.
love when guys call women broads. Like this is like the 1950s. Like broad is like wasn't that like an insult? Like
I don't know. I've been called so many worse things than a broad. Like I'm not worried about it. All right, so those are the plays today. Kel, do you like anything else? Are you thinking of playing anything else? Also, don't come at me from a Facebook profile. I'll put that out there. I'll fucking torch your ass.
all three people that watch via Facebook. I mean, that tells you how old the guy is. It's unfortunate for them, but yeah,
Big
I
Sky
will
in
tweet out.
1955. Go ahead, Kel.
I'll probably end up on 2, if not 3 of these games. I will tweet out if I do and let you guys know before tip off. And yeah, that's about it on my end. Ready for another really exciting weekend of NFL so I can want to jump off my roof and hopefully break both my legs because that would be better than the result that I got last night.
Oh, all right. Little bit of morbid talk from Kelly. Positive vibes only.
Negative vibes only. God damn it, Jack. Make the fucking t-shirt. My group chat is negative vibes only. Me and my friends are absolutely insufferable.
Jack's not in charge. Did the Bengals team call me? No, they didn't call me yet, but hopefully they will soon. I'd love to suit up and get out there. If they need another target, I would go out there gladly. Watch the show for your picks also, Megan. Thank you.
Megan,
that's really nice. Really nice. All right, that's enough of you guys being nice to me. I'm out of here. We'll see y'all Thursday. But I will say, Kelly and I are talking about switching some things up as far as days and times. When we're giving out these picks, we're thinking that y'all might need to know some things maybe on Saturdays. Stay tuned to find out, but we'll see y'all Thursday.